Are you planning on decorating for Halloween or for the fall? Stay tuned, let's talk about some tips and tricks to keep it safe for the wildlife. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Cherie, and today I want to talk about decorating and keeping it safe for wildlife. And so this is not just for fall, it's for all seasons. I decorate to show off the changing of the seasons. So in the fall it'll be pumpkins and gourds and beautiful leaves. In the spring it'll be flowers, summer sunflowers, that kind of thing. So I was working on my ritual space outside, and there's a couple of things that came up, and I know there's been articles about this too as well, so I wanted to address it as well. And that's our like Halloween decorating or whatever you're putting outside. So maybe not necessarily Halloween, but for all of it. And it's being mindful of the wildlife that's outside, because we're affecting them too as we do this. And for example, if you're covering an entire tree with webbing, you're blocking animals that live in those trees from returning home or from leaving to get food. And so you're disrupting their natural cycles, which isn't healthy. If you stretch that same webbing or whatever decorations across two trees, you have the potential of catching birds during the day through it, or bats at night that are hunting for insects. There's a lot of things that you can be out there hurting that you don't intend to. So it's thinking about those things. Another one is if you're carving jack-o'-lanterns. I know there's a tip that if you spray bleach inside the pumpkins, they won't rot as fast. I've never tried this, so I don't know if it's true or not. But I also hesitate because I know critters chew on them, as much as some people don't like that. Squirrels, chipmunks, wherever you live, raccoons, those things might come and chew on because essentially it is food, it's fruit for them. So you're potentially harming them in the long run. And so it's trying to be mindful of the possibility of those things happening and then decorating accordingly. So trying to keep it smaller, using more natural things out there. The other thing is when you're breaking these decorations down, if things have moved into them and created homes in them, just being aware that they're there and not just chucking it in the fire or throwing it away, making sure that if there is a critter in there, it's you know, you can either rehome it to a new location or give it time to get out. Because I know if you're using hay bales and things like that, sometimes things move in and they create families, and you don't want to just go and be destructive. Which brings me to my final point. Now all the leaves are falling and they're creating messes everywhere, and our natural tendency is to clean it up, put it on a burn pile, or get rid of it. Here, this is just us, so I'm just food for thought, putting it out there, so no judgment on anybody. We tend to just leave it there because we've been in a drought, and when the leaves finally start to fall and we get a little bit of rainfall, it creates moisture, and there's tons of things happening under that are amazing that we don't want to disrupt. There are newts and salamanders and stuff going to sleep, and there are frogs burrowing in, things that are mating and having babies or going into slumber because winter's coming, so they're kind of going down there, hunkering down and hibernating. But also the ability for them to find food now, and also when the dead leaves have a purpose. There's mushrooms, mycelium growing, tons of things happening under there. But also as the leaves are decomposing, they're creating fertilizer for everything that's going to grow up in the spring and summer. So it's one of those things on how important your clean yard looks versus what, you know, the nature that it can provide, or the food that it provides, or the home or habitat that it provides for other things. And then I totally understand there are some people that are worried about rattlesnakes and venomous snakes and things like that, and there are ways around that and ways of preventing that. So this is one, you know, once again, this is your choice. Figure out which works better in your situation. Maybe there are places you can leave undisturbed that don't have a lot of foot traffic, so you're not so worried about it, and then you can clean up the other. So you can move, like, if you're cleaning up one area, you can move those leaves to a different pile that you're not touching, so that it just adds on to that area or whatever. So it's just finding a way to work together and in a balance, and then seeing how it works out for you. So if there are other tips or tricks that go along with decorating safely, or the seasonal changes with the leaves and stuff, I'd love to hear what you're doing. Comment down below and let me know. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you again in another pan video.